Well, you have a bunch of guys that are competing well past 50 still, right? I mean, you got Jeff Alberts, you got Philip Ricardo, you got Kyoshi Moody's coming back after his, challenges that he went through. You have Marshall Johnson, who competed almost up until 60, right? It's wild.
Like last week.
Oh, he competed last week.
62 years old.
Yeah. Get out. I didn't see that.
Or 2 weeks. I don't know which. A week or two ago. Yeah,
no way.
Alberto, well, it popped up on my feed because somebody I thought was old at first, but it's not. It's like 2 weeks ago. And then Alberto posted something on Instagram too. 62 years old.
He came out of the shadows because he kind of, when I was talking to Philip, he had said, no, I'm not doing that. Or that's what Philip had told me, like Marshall's not in bodybuilding anymore. And he kind of just surprised everyone, I guess, or.
Yes. So, in 2012 at the Universe, he was right at the beginning of that comeback. I competed against him right at the very beginning of that. I think he was like, he was like 51 or 52 or whatever. But yeah, we were right, 51 or 52. Yeah, I've been in a lot of shows with Marshall, but yeah, I mean, there's, the list is pretty short, but I think the list is short because of choice, not because of anything else. It's because, and then that's fine. People get other interests. They get bored of it. They don't like it, whatever, that's fine. But the chronology of life, thinking that you're just going to degrade that much is kind of silly, really thinking. I think that's people's lack of intellectual flexing. Like if you're going to be lazy mentally, where you're not willing to learn and change, it's not 1985 anymore, bro. If you're not willing to change and adapt and evolve, then you are going to get worse, because those little things are going to happen. The tweak, like I said before, the tweak knee, the whatever, those things are going to happen. And if you still think, oh, I got a squat, else I can't make gains, and you push through that, you're going to end yourself. You're going to blow that knee out. You're going to have an injury that's way beyond doing anything. You can't do leg press now. You can't do whatever, as opposed to the little tweak you had and you were a meathead about. And I think the biggest thing is people need to make sure their wisdom grows directly with age, and it usually doesn't. It usually just doesn't. People just almost get dumber. I mean, really, they do. It's like they're 45 and they're talking about the training practices from 1992, like it's not fitness is so new. It's so new, really. If you think of it, it's as new as computers. And I don't mean fitness like I'm talking like the Greeks. I'm talking like bodybuilding and lifting with this artificial modality, the weights in this sense. It's really like, if you look at computers, really kind of evolving from, the mid 70s, right? Well, you think back to bodybuilding, I mean, it was pretty infantile in 1975. Like, look at the gyms Arnold lifted in, you're like, whoa, my gosh, that looks like a museum for sure. You know what I mean? And of course, we had bodybuilding somewhat before that, right? We had John Grimmick and Steve Reeves, and we have Greg Park and whatever. But then you're talking about really archaic. Like, you're talking about the stuff John Grimmick did in his basement, attaching to his, apparatus to a beam that he snaps and about collapses his whole house onto.
Yeah. Well, it's funny you bring that up, because you have to wonder the longevity of these guys. I don't know where it goes, because those practices, could that really take you that far? Like the way they were doing things, you got to wonder, right? Like Arnold quit at what age? Like these guys quit at an early age. So you want to talk about these practices from the 70s. It's like, where's the longevity in that, right?
There isn't, because their equipment sucked. Most cases, you didn't squat. What were you going to do? I mean, I'd be screwed beyond belief. There wouldn't be equipment that would accommodate me. I would be absolutely done in every way, shape, and form. I can't go do dumbbell bench. I'd lay back and fall off. You know what I mean? I'd have the garbage bench that I probably couldn't even get stability on. I'd have to do, it'd just be ridiculous, it would really be absurd. I'd be, no matter what my desire would, I'd be massively backtracking. There'd be no way around it. And that's what happens in the normal stage of growth for most people. They literally, even if they did mature and get more wise, they don't have a way to really, they really don't have a way to apply that unless they go and make their own equipment, which I'm sure some of them did. They just created some equipment to make things better, right? But you know, there's limitations to the ability of people to do that, right? So I think that we're in a place where there's a lot of exponential growth right now with it, or with all of it. Now you have all these companies on internet. You know, you have Frey Fitness, and you know, I mean, you had Rogue before, but now you have like a million of them. Like, there's just so many different companies and equipment that, and you know, that you can get about anything you want anymore. You can get all these versions that can help your longevity, but you gotta like try.
Yes.
To make an effort. Most people don't. The first time an obstacle comes up, they're out. They're out, period.
You mentioned calculated intensity, calculated way of approaching this with a certain amount of wisdom so you don't get hurt. It's like, still, a young mind might go in and be like, no, I have to be the best, 20 sets for everything. And again, wait a second, right? Like, why are you doing it like that? You are going to probably burn yourself out.